Hi, this is Suchi, and in this video, we will discuss about another data type which is very much similar to list, but it is not a list because there are some major basic differences, and the name of the data type is tuple. So let us talk about tuple, how we can define a tuple, how we can use them, and what are the differences with list. So let me come to an empty cell. Now, let's talk about defining a tuple. So how we will define a tuple? There are two ways. Tuples are defined using curly braces. So let us have one tuple. Let's say tuple 1, and let me assign some values. So we can have an empty tuple, and we can declare an empty tuple with the help of only curly braces. If we check the data type of this tuple, we can see type of the tuple 1 is nothing but class tuple. So as you can see, it is a tuple class. Now, what else we can do? We can also use a constructor. So we can use this constructor, which is tuple, and we can assign that in the similar manner. And if you look into this, if you check the type method, what is the type of this tuple2 variable? So you can see that it is also a class tuple. But what is the value? It is empty. So let us print this tuple 1. You can see it is an empty tuple. And if we print tuple 2, it is also an empty tuple. So let me have this print statements over here. So as you can see, tuple 1 is empty and tuple 2 is also empty. Now, let us see how we can have some elements into the tuple. So unlike list, tuple is immutable. By saying that, what I mean is, once a tuple is defined, it can never be changed. In list, we can append element into the list. We can extend the list with another list. But in case of tuple, we cannot append any element to a tuple. We cannot even change any index value of any index of the tuple. So we cannot reassign the value of any index of a tuple basically. So the tuple cannot be changed. It is immutable, just like strings. We can reassign the variable, but we cannot change an existing tuple. We cannot change the structure. We cannot insert any element. We cannot delete any element from, or we cannot reassign any index in a tuple. So let us check how to have a tuple with some elements. Now, we can have any number of elements in tuple of any data type. For example, we can have some string values. We can have some float, some integer. We can also have some list here. We can also have another tuple inside a tuple. So tuple can be nested. Tuple can have any number of values. It can have any data type inside it. And it can also have repeated values. Let's say I have 4 here in the first index. I can have 4 again. I can have any other thing repeated. So it allows the duplicate values. Fine. So let us check what is the data type of it and what is the value. So let us remove this type from this one. So as you can see, the data type is tuple and this is the value, whatever we have assigned to it. Now let us see whether we can change a tuple or not. So tuple do not have any append function, tuple do not have any remove delete functions. But how we will access tuple indexes? This will be similar like list. So when we say tuple 3 of 2, so this starts from 0, 0, 1 and 2. 2 means this value should come here. So if we print this, you can see we are getting the value at the index 2. Similarly, we can also use this reverse indexing. For example, if I want the last one, or maybe the second last one, which is 4 here. So if I use -2, it will give me 4. So as you can see here, let me use some print statement over here. And let me assign the separator as new line so that I can see the values in new line. So we can do indexing over the tuples. Let me split this statement for your better understanding. Remove the separator. So here you can see we are getting the correct elements. Now you can also ask, can we use slicing as well on a tuple? The answer is yes, we can use slicing as well. So if we print this tuple 3 here, so you can see we can take length using the same alien method. It will also work here. So you can see the length is 7. So let us print it. So as you can see, the length is 7. Let us access this part only, these 3 elements. So how we can do that? This is index 0, this is 1, this is 2. So we remember the slicing. And how we can do that? We can simply write tuple 3 and we can add the third brackets. Let me add the print statement later. Third brackets. And if you remember how we used to do the slicing, we used to add the start index and the index before which we need to stop. So stop before, start from this, stop before this, and step. So the step size, jump this much. So what is the start index? Start index will be 0, 1, 2. So this is 2. We need to start from 2. Then 2, 3, 4 we want. So we need to stop before what? We need to stop before 5. So we will say 5 here. So we will get 2, 3, 4. And then step. Step is nothing but 1, which is the default value. So we can use it or we can omit it. So if we don't pass 1, it will automatically take 1. And if we pass 1 also, it will take 1. So we can let us have it for now. Let me just print it. As you can see, we are getting whatever we expected. We are receiving a tuple with only these 3 elements, what we wanted to be. So slicing works perfectly here. In the similar way, it used to work in list. Now, let us also check. Let us also check one more thing, whether we can reverse this tuple or not. with the help of slicing. Similarly, as we used to do for list. So we want to take the entire tuple and we want to just reverse it. So we will use -1. So as we can see here, our tuple, let us just print both the things. Tuple 3, original, and let us add another print statement for the reversed one. And here we will put this. So if now we run this cell, you can see 425 val, this list, this tuple 4 and val. And the same thing has been reversed here. So our slicing is perfectly working on tuple.